So guys, I think at times it's very important to ask questions before going into a relationship. So something very tragic happened in Zambia on the 28th of August 2025, which is why I said it is very important to try to know little or something about the person you are going into a relationship with for your own good. The police in Chipata was said to have arrested 38 years old Edward Wanamuchile, who is said to be an accountant at the Horizon Company. According to sources, the police received an official report informing them of the tragic incident that had happened. Now, this whole incident was said to have happened on the 28th of August 2025. Edward's landlord, Monga Ngobeka, called the police to inform them of what has happened. According to the landlord, Edward and his wife had issues. They were living together because Edward was said to have been married. They were living together and all of a sudden, Edward drove his wife from their matrimonial home over allegations of misusing house rent. So Edward and his wife had an argument. The wife accused him of misusing their house rent. And out of that anger, Edward drove his wife on the 5th of August. Barely 3 weeks after he drove his wife, on the 28th of August 2025, the landlord saw Edward coming into the house with this young lady who was identified as 25 years old Rhoda Nkombwe. So after Edward and his girlfriend Rhoda entered the house, the landlord said he started hearing disturbing noise somewhere around 11:30 p.m. because they entered around 7 p.m. He started hearing some disturbing noise. Then he decided to go and find out what was going on as a concerned landlord. After knocking, the landlord asked Edward to open the door for him. Edward responded and told the landlord that he misplaced his house key because the landlord observed Edward's apartment was locked from inside. Now, Edward told the landlord that he had misplaced his keys, so there was no way for him to open the door. Meanwhile, at that point, Edward had already gone into hiding, so the landlord used a spare key and opened the door to gain access into the house. Immediately he entered, he found Rhoda lying unconscious with multiple injuries and covered in a pool of blood. He immediately called an ambulance and she was rushed to Chipata Central Hospital, where she was pronounced dead upon arrival. I think the landlord called Rhoda's father, after which he went back to his house. Now, on getting to his house, remember when he went to open the door, Edward had gone into hiding. On seeing that the landlord had left with Rhoda's body to the hospital, Edward came out and was mopping the blood. He was mopping the blood stains from his sitting room, his kitchen, and every other place he needed to clear up. That was how the landlord sighted him and decided to inform the police. The police quickly came to the crime scene and apprehended Edward even before he could try to flee the scene. He was arrested and taken into custody. It was after the police started investigating they found out that Edward had recently chased his wife out of their house, that he was married and had recently chased his wife out of the house and just brought in this girl. Now, it's not even clear how they met and the nature of their relationship, if it was just a one-night stand or somebody he had been in a relationship with. According to the source and according to the information given to the police by the landlord, it seems like this was his girlfriend. But what led to their arguments or fights is still unknown to the general public. But the police said when they got to the house was in disarray. It was scattered, covered with multiple blood stains everywhere, both sitting room, kitchen, bathroom. And it seems as though there was a struggle between Rhoda and Edward. And it also appeared Edward had struck Rhoda with a very sharp object in her head and inflicted multiple injuries to her legs and her body, which made it impossible for her to even stand up or probably run for her life. So according to the police, Edward is currently under their custody, helping and assisting or aiding them with the investigation, while the victim has been deposited at the mortuary for possible autopsy. As we speak, the victim's father, by the name of Terry Nkombwe, is currently hoping and relying on the police to conduct a thorough investigation and see that justice is given to his daughter.